Hey guys, and welcome back to Tanner's Top Reads. Things have been crazy here at the store lately, so we've kind of fallen off our posting schedule, but we're getting back at it this week. So this week, I wanted to try and catch up on some books that I've been super excited about, finally getting to read. Some of these have been out for a few weeks now, but like I said, we've been busy at the store, and I just haven't been able to get to them. Lots of independents today. We've got Noctera, number 2. This is the image book written by Scott Snyder, art by Tony S. Daniel. We have The Silver Coin, number 1. This is Chip Zdarsky and Michael Walsh, also another image book. We have Phantom on the Scan, number 1. This is an Aftershock book, Cullen Bunn and Mark Torres. And then from Marvel, we have NonStop Spiderman, number 2. So just to get started, we'll start off with NonStop Spiderman. So far, I've enjoyed the series. It's a lot more reading than I think I said this about issue number 1. It's a lot more reading than the title suggests. Now, the artwork is very action-packed, and it seems like the panels move fast from panel to panel. And the way it's laid out, it leads your eye around the page in a very dynamic way that makes it feel fast, but there is a lot of reading. So we get to see a little bit more of the story unfolds. So basically what's going on is Spider-Man, one of his friends, OD's on this new drug that is hitting the streets, but these ODs that are happening they're weird. They're not typical like what you'd think of it from a drug overdose. And we find out that apparently whatever this is, it's like stealing smarts from people and giving it to something else. So we still don't know completely what's behind everything or what's going on. I mentioned last time that it seemed the way it was written, it felt like a second backstory at the end of the book that involved Baron Zemo. Well, Zemo shows up at the end of this book as well, but it's not long enough to be a backstory. So apparently Zemo's involved somehow. We'll find out more in later issues. But I thought it was a good read. I wanted to get the Marvel book out of the way first, just because being that it is Marvel, I expect a lot of you guys to be reading the stuff from the bigger labels anyway. So I like to get into the independent books so that maybe I'll point somebody to a book that they wouldn't have chosen just looking at the shelves. So that was NonStop Spider-Man number 2. There's tons of covers. They're all cool. We also have an exclusive available through our website, unknowncomicbooks.com. So next up, we'll go to Phantom on the Scan at number 1. This is an Aftershock book. It was interesting. It was really good. Like I said, I like to highlight these independents so that maybe one of you guys out there will go pick something up that you wouldn't have normally. This is kind of I put it in sci-fi horror. And another thing that I think is just great about this is, Berserker's written by Keanu Reeves. This book has nothing to do with Keanu Reeves, but the main character looks totally like him. So something's going on. There's these psychics, and they're just like dying. They don't know why. The main character sees this little ghost boy. There's a lot of mystery in this first issue. Not a lot to really go off of, but I enjoyed it. The art totally fits the style of what they're going for. It's very dark and horror-y. It's cool. But yeah, it was a good read. I'm hoping to see great things from this series. So check it out. Phantom on the Scan, number 1. So this next book was probably my favorite out of the set. I think it was very unique, very well done, very interesting, and that's Silver Coin, number 1. This is an image book by Chip Zdarsky and Michael Walsh. This series is going to be so cool, I think. It takes place in the 70s. It centers around this rock band, kind of in the time where disco's taken over, and they're okay. They're not, like, they play this local club, but nobody really cares about them. They're all about, like, everybody just wants disco. Well, the guitarist finds this coin in a box of belongings that was left by his mother, who walked out on him and his dad. And he starts using this coin as a guitar pick. And it's kind of like the Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny. He just becomes amazing using this coin. And I don't know, the whole series is going to revolve around the coin itself. The coin is really the main character. I think it's going to be awesome. I don't think each issue is going to have very much to do with each other. This whole story was wrapped up in this issue itself, but there was a cliffhanger. So, like, there's going to be something. Well, they've already you can already order issue 2, so we know there is an issue 2. But like I said, the stories themselves I don't think have anything to do with each other. The main character is actually the coin itself. It was awesome. It's very kind of creep show, Tales from the Crypt kind of horror. It was awesome. I loved it, and you should too. So it's the Silver Coin, number 1. This is, like I said, this is an Image book, and you should be reading this. And my last book for this week was Noctera, number 2. This is another Image book, written by Scott Snyder, art by Tony S. Daniel. I think this series is going to be great. Issue number 1 was awesome, and issue number 2 just keeps that momentum going. We know that the darkness in this world is affecting any living creature. You spend too much time in the dark, you start to experience, I guess the best way to describe it is this parasitic infection where you start turning into the monsters. The main character is a ferryman, and they drive these basically semis that are all lit up to get people from settlement to settlement. And they made a really interesting metaphor in the book where it's not so much like trucking as we think of it, and it's a lot more like sailing, because you don't know what's out there in the dark. And they even set up, instead of calling them truck stops or gas stations or whatever, they call them piers. And so they have these piers set up throughout the routes that these guys can stop at. And the whole thing is they're trying to get these passengers to this settlement that is supposedly a sanctuary. And this guy's supposed to be able to figure out how to reverse this darkness from this place. But there's the villain. He's called like Blackjack Bill, something like that. I don't remember right off the top of my head. He likes the dark. He doesn't want it to be fixed, so he's chasing them. And we kind of see the inner struggle of the main character as she tries to decide which, like, is she gonna help her passengers, or is she just gonna give it over to this guy, because she's trying to figure out her own internal struggle, because she has her own desires as well. So all 4 of these were a great read. I recommend them all. Like I said, Silver Coin was by far my favorite out of this set, and I think everybody needs to be reading that. But for more reviews, for more previews, all the sort of stuff, be sure to subscribe to our channel. Hit that notification bell so you get notified every time we post a video. Like, subscribe, share, all that jazz just helps us out a ton. Thank you guys, and we'll see you next time.